Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, live and in color, talking to you today about the magazine covers, that I appear on. Ooh, yeah. All right, that really wasn't Randy Savage, clearly. That was me doing a horrible impersonation of him. But today's video is going to be on the Macho Man, Randy Savage, which I was talking about a few days ago in the video I did on I think it was Coco Ware and Bill Dundee in the scaffold match in Memphis. So I went through the magazines that I have, and good Lord, Randy Savage ends up appearing on a lot more than I thought he would at the beginning. But I kind of narrowed it down because I'd be here all day doing this. Clearly, this is going to be a two-part video, though. I kind of took the things that I think matter the most for Randy in this. So let's take a look right now at the career of Randy Macho Man Savage on the magazine covers here. The first one I came across was Sports Review Wrestling, January 1986. And we get Randy Savage to Macho for Tito Santana. So Randy Savage comes into the WWF in late 85 and automatically gets put into a program with Hulk Hogan pretty much. But he was doing the Hogan matches in Madison Square Garden. And at Boston Garden, around the same time frame, he was going after Tito Santana's Intercontinental title. And, of course, Randy would eventually get that off Tito in Boston. April 86 for The Wrestler. For the love of Elizabeth, Randy Savage must beat Hulk Hogan. So they're, again, hyping up Macho and Hogan and Macho and Santana. Let me move this up a bit. This is kind of far back. There we go. I don't have long arms like Zeke Zanzibar, my good buddy. Yeah, he's got some long arms on him. He can stretch a little better than I can when it comes to doing that. All right, here we go. Next up, Inside Wrestling, May 86. We got Randy Savage, WWF champion. What would this mean to wrestling? So there's a photo there of the Macho Man with the title. It's black and white, but that was at a Madison Square Garden show where Randy defeated Hogan by countout, and he took the title. And he would do that quite a bit at house shows. And they would kind of rehash that storyline in like 89 when Warrior and Savage were wrestling each other for title versus title matches. PWI, August 86. So here we go. The Macho Man finally makes the Pro Wrestling Illustrated cover. So his first one was Sports Review Wrestling, then The Wrestler, then Inside Wrestling, and now we have PWI, Emotional Tug of War, the inner forces that are tearing apart Randy Savage. Next up, Inside Wrestling, October 86. We have Randy Savage with the Intercontinental title there. Finally, they show Macho with the belt. WWF Intercontinental Champion Randy Savage, 5 contenders who can take his title and 5 who can't. It's kind of weird. I know a buddy of mine who does these videos, Pro Wrestling Mags, check out his YouTube channel. He talks about this too, how a lot of wrestlers will win these titles and they should probably have a bigger photo spread on the cover than what it is. I mean, we're getting Luger and Flair with a headlock, and we get Macho Man with the Intercontinental title. Like, I don't know. I think the champion should probably have the bigger photo, but that's just me. We got the Wrestler Annual, Winter 86. For the love of Elizabeth, Randy Savage must beat Hulk Hogan. That, of course, is an old story that was in the Wrestler that I showed you earlier on. The Wrestler Annual, if you go back and watch my videos of these kind of magazines in the library, it's just pretty much rehashing old stories from the magazines. But what a great cover there with Hulk Who. Of course, he would wear that shirt on the Tuesday Night Titans show at times with Vince McMahon, and pretty much saying, like, who's Hulk? Hulk who, right? Hulk Hogan is nobody. I'm the Macho Man. Now we get our first full cover photo of the Macho Man with the Intercontinental title. It's, of course, a WWF magazine. It's from February and March of 87. There it is, the Macho Man with the Intercontinental Championship. And it's nice to finally see Randy with a big photo. Look at that. Look at the difference there, right? Like, come on.
I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I get that photo there probably isn't the best of Randy, but it's still him holding the title. Also, I mentioned this in the Intercontinental title video, but I'll mention it here too. You may notice that the IC title that Randy's holding on the left looks a little more dull and tarnished than the one on the right that he's holding in his yellow trunks. From the stories I heard, he put some sort of varnish or something on the title trying to clean it, and it took the shine away and made it dull. And they just got that Intercontinental title not that long before. Tito Santana was the first holder of it, and he got it around August of '86 after he beat Valentine for the other Intercontinental strap that Valentine destroyed in the cage. So the belt was only like maybe 7 months, 8 months old when Randy messed up and made it dull. So Vince McMahon was not going to bring in a new Intercontinental title anytime soon for the wrestlers then. Inside Wrestling, April '87. This isn't a really good shot, but I'm just showing it because I owned this magazine when I was a kid. It's Rick Steamboat, the Dragon is breathing fire again, and showing his feud with Randy Savage, which, of course, would be coming up big time for WrestleMania 3. And here is the WWF magazine, June '87. We get Macho Man on the cover there with Ricky Steamboat, showing that these guys had one heck of a match at WrestleMania. PWI July '87 talks about it going into it. Rick Steamboat versus Randy Savage. Even WrestleMania 3 cannot end this feud. They wrestled at many house shows, many live events, whatever you want to call it, around the globe. Maple Leaf Gardens, Madison Square Garden, Boston Garden. They're all either on old WWF Coliseum videotapes or the Randy Savage DVD/Blu-rays that were released in the last, 10, 15 years by the WWE. Sports Review Wrestling, July '87. The match that made WrestleMania 3 great. Steamboat takes Savage's Intercontinental title. And a lot of people will say that is one of the best matches ever at WrestleMania. Honestly, it still stands up to time when you watch it. It's hard to say that match shouldn't be in the top 3 of all-time great WrestleMania matches. I would argue that one or Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 had a killer match too, and that was so good. And but that one was really good. We got The Wrestler, October '87. The Honky Tonk Man wins the Intercontinental title. Is Randy Savage the fans' only hope? Meaning, is the Macho Man going to turn face? Is he going to become a good guy? Is he going to go after the Intercontinental title once again? We were going to find out, and he did turn good. He did become a babyface. WWF Magazine, December '87, Macho Madness, Savage versus Honky. So they are doing the matches. The story, from what I've heard, and I don't know how true this story is that, this is Honky Tonk Man saying it, that he wasn't going to drop the Intercontinental belt to Savage on the main event in February of '88, so they had a DQ or count out schmoz. I forget what it was. Savage won the match, not the title. And then Savage instead was given the WWF title at WrestleMania 4. I don't believe that for a second. And looking back, I can tell you why I don't believe that. Why would they give Savage the Intercontinental title from Honky when they were already plugging Savage and Hogan as the mega powers and them helping each other out vice versa, right? I think that they kept Savage in the Intercontinental title picture to show that he is a champion contender, and they were ready to put the rocket ship on him, and they did it WrestleMania 4. So I don't believe Honky Tonk Man for a second saying that. I think because I remember I heard stories too that Honky said he only got the Intercontinental title because Butch Reed no-showed. Yet if you watch when Honky won the title and who's celebrating with Honky, Butch Reed is with him. So I mean, come on, Honky. I have a feeling he makes a little bit of stories up as he goes. Winter '87 for Wrestling Superstars. We get Lex Luger versus Randy Savage in a Superstar Dream match. This dream match would happen in WCW in 1995 at Halloween Havoc, I believe, is when they had their first pay-per-view match. Luger defeated Meng to advance to wrestle Savage, and Savage had to defeat Zodiac to advance to wrestle Luger. So, yeah, they did have their dream match. So, we're going to get into, coming up here now, the WWF title picture. And, of course, this is going to be very heavy Hogan as well, because the Mega Powers were dominating huge in 1988. But we got PWI February 1988. Incredible turnaround. Randy Savage becomes more popular than Hulk Hogan. So here we go. We're starting it right now. The Stanley Weston magazines know what to do. They're going to hype Savage and Hogan. I guess everyone sees it coming that they're going to be tagging, and they're most definitely going to be feuding. It's going to happen, right? Inside Wrestling, February 88. Randy Savage has wimped out. A special analysis by Jesse Ventura. Of course, Jesse Ventura ended up being the special referee at SummerSlam 88 for the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks, and Jesse has a history with Randy. As Jesse said on the Body Shop to Randy, if we both know if it was either going to be me or you to dethrone Santana of the Intercontinental titles. So, it was Macho Man, but Jesse thought he was going to do it as well. For Pro Wrestling Illustrated, March 88, year in review, we get Savage and Steamboat on the cover there. They won, I believe they won Match of the Year. I would think they had to have. Let's take a look and see where it's at in here. Tag Team of the Year. Yep, Match of the Year. Steamboat and Savage defeated War Games, The Match Beyond, Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania, and Ronnie Garvin versus Ric Flair. So, well, it makes sense. I mean, I'd pick Savage and Steamboat too over all those matches. Spring of 88 for Wrestling 88. Mega Powers. The Hogan Savage Alliance can destroy the WWF. And they're already, again, like I said, hyping this feud, and it would continue on all through 88 in these magazines. Inside Wrestling, June 88, The Noble Savage, How Beauty Killed the Beast Within the Macho Man. There's Randy and Elizabeth. That looks like, I don't even know where that would be from. It looks like it'd be from probably like a TV taping, so it's very bright there in that photo. And they always had the brighter lights for the TV shows like Superstars or Challenge. WWF Magazine, July 1988. Macho Man, the undisputed WWF champion. There it is. Randy with the belt, the gold belt, finally. The WWF champion. First time happening, a babyface being champion since Hogan. Hogan had that run from 84 through 88. So this was something new for the WWF. And fans took to it. They were okay with it. Hogan, of course, was off doing No Holds Barred with Tiny Lister Jr., who was Zeus in that movie. And for those who don't know, the wrestler that Hulk Hogan was wrestling at the beginning of No Holds Barred was Bill Eadie. That's Demolition Axe. So there's some... And Stan Hansen was in that movie too. I'm sure everyone knew that though. But Sports Review Wrestling, July 88. We get the exclusive photos of WrestleMania 4, and there's the champ right there, Randy Macho Man Savage, with the title on the cover. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, August 88. Macho Madness, The Torches Pass. There it is again. Macho Man at the title and the Hulkster. Talking on NBC microphone, so I don't know what that would be. Maybe a Saturday Night's Main Event hype, I'm guessing. I'm not too sure. Inside Wrestling, August 88. What Randy Savage must do to escape the shadow of Hulk Hogan. Already, like I said, hyping up Savage and Hogan going to feud. I mean, the guy hasn't even been champion yet for like 15 minutes, and they're already hyping the fact that these two are probably going to go at it. And WrestleMania 5 would probably be the place, right? And it was, as time went on, we saw. Wrestling Eye, August 88. We got Macho and Liz on the cover. Wrestling Eye, of course, I've talked about this in another video. This is the alternative to the Stanley Weston magazines. These were the other wrestling magazines you'd see on the shelf at the newsstands. The reason why I'm showing this, A, is because Macho Man's on the cover, and B, I actually owned this magazine when I was a kid. So it was kind of neat to see here. So I thought I would put it on the video here for everyone to see. Inside Wrestling, September 88. Again, hyping WrestleMania 4. There's Macho and Liz with the title there in a small photo. This was talking about all the shows that were going on at the time, which is probably why Randy and Liz didn't get a bigger photo shot on the cover. Pro Wrestling Illustrated Annual, fall of '88. Incredible turnaround. Randy Savage becomes more popular than Hulk Hogan. Again, that's rehashing the PWI story. That's what these magazines did, just like the Wrestler Annual and all that. So just a nice, again, if you missed out on the story, at least you get it in that magazine. Inside Wrestling, October '88. A preview and analysis of the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks for SummerSlam '88. Of course, SummerSlam was the first summertime pay-per-view for the WWF after WrestleMania 4. Some people say that the big event in 1986 in August in the CNE, the big one with Hogan and Orndorff, some people say that was kind of like the preview of what SummerSlam was going to be, almost like a testing the waters of can a summertime show be done. And SummerSlam '88 came out hard. It was at in fast. It was at Madison Square Garden, just like WrestleMania 1 was, and it was a pretty solid show. If you go back and watch it, it's still pretty good to this day. The Wrestler Annual Winter '88. Match by match coverage of SummerSlam '88. There's Hogan handing Liz the title while Macho Man hoists her up on his shoulders. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, January '89. We got Liz on the cover, but it says the Hogan Savage Elizabeth Triangle. Will the Mega Woman destroy the Mega Powers? We see Hogan and Randy going for the handshake there at SummerSlam. And of course, we found out she was kind of to blame. Randy got jealous of Hogan and her being so close and whatnot. So she may have been the blame. February '89, Sports Review Wrestling, Wrestling's Top Champions, what '89 has in store for him. Right there, Randy Savage, will he face Hulk Hogan? So hyping it up big time, will it happen? As we all know, it does. PWI, April '89, has Savage signed to wrestle Hogan at WrestleMania 5. So PWI now pretty much saying around the cover, want you to know, is it going to happen? And of course, eventually it did. But first, you have to get through a new pay-per-view in the WWF, the Royal Rumble. Of course, in '88, they had it live on Free TV USA Network to kind of give you a show what it is. '89 was the pay-per-view version. And we have May '89, Sports Review Wrestling, we see Hogan and Savage right there. The alliances crumble at the Royal Rumble. Interesting enough, Randy's tights there are the same tights he wore at WrestleMania 5. The only difference is that he had white boots at WrestleMania 5, and at the Royal Rumble he was wearing yellow boots. So that's the only difference for that. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, June '89, Hogan versus Savage, how it happened. WrestleMania 5 preview and analysis, forecast for the future. That's a walkthrough so you can see how this match came to be at WrestleMania 5. Of course, that was when the Mega Powers were set to explode. Summer '89 for Wrestling '89, Mega Powers. They can put the pieces together again, but they did not, as we all know the history there. Sports Review Wrestling, July '89. The special section, WrestleMania 5, complete match-by-match coverage. So there's Macho with the belt there and Hogan going through there. Again, I told you before, Sports Review Wrestling would really go into detail at these big pay-per-view events so you could see what happened and read the results. So that was very cool, and they did well with that. August '89 for the Wrestler. We get Supercard Sunday. There's Hogan and Savage from WrestleMania 5 right there. And of course, on the same day, there was a Clash of the Champions with Steamboat versus Flair on TBS for free. So you had a choice. Do you watch free wrestling or do you pay to watch the pay-per-view? Depending, I guess, where you live or what kind of cable you had, I guess that's what you went with that day. Inside Wrestling, September '89. Savage is shamed by Hogan. Only Elizabeth can save him now. So those were the matches they were having. The house show matches after WrestleMania 5, going around wrestling in Europe and Canada and all over North America. They were bringing the house down in a lot of matches to the point where they had a tag match at SummerSlam that will be coming up shortly here. Wrestling Superstars, fall of '89, the Superstar Dream Match. Hulk Hogan and Rick Steamboat versus Randy Savage and Ric Flair. Both of these guys, or all four of these guys, I should say, were dominating both their companies at the time for the World Championship. And Flair was trying so hard to get the title back from Steamboat, as was Savage from Hogan. And of course, the real big dream match here would have been Hogan versus Flair, since it never happened before. Hogan fought Savage many times. Steamboat has fought Savage many times, and Flair many times. So a unique look here in 1989 at what could have been. And of course, Hogan did end up wrestling Flair, so that's kind of neat. The Wrestler, October '89. Here it is, the No Holds Barred. We got the SummerSlam preview. Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake versus Randy Savage and Zeus. That's right, Zeus is wrestling in the WWF. The rumor had it, of course, that Zeus was going to wrestle Hogan at WrestleMania 6 for the title. That would have been disastrous, and I'm glad that that ended in December of '89 for the No Holds Barred pay-per-view special, which was the match, the movie, where you got to see the movie and then watch a steel cage match pitting Hogan and Beefcake against Zeus and the Macho Man. Sports Review Wrestling, October '89, Savage versus Hogan. SummerSlam will not end this war. And that is true. They fought even in 1990. The main event, February of '89, was Hogan versus Savage for the title, with Buster Douglas as the referee. It was supposed to be Mike Tyson, but of course Tyson lost the title to Douglas, and Buster Douglas was the special enforcing referee for that match instead. November '89 for The Wrestler. Roddy Piper pins Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan is scared stiff. Yes, that is true. Roddy Piper did pin the Macho Man on house shows. I'm not sure what was going on there. I mean, I know Piper always said he doesn't like to lose or get pinned, but I mean, I don't know what the deal was there, what they were going with that storyline, because Piper was, I think, in a program with Rick Rude, and Savage was still with Hogan, and he was going after Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And here we see it. Right here, January 1990, Sports Review Wrestling. Macho King Savage, his last chance at glory. So the Macho Man defeated King Hacksaw Jim Duggan on WWF Superstars to win the crown, and the Macho Man then became the Macho King from 1989 all the way up through till 1991, when he lost the career-ending match to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. And last but not least, for 1990, spring 1990, we get Hogan versus Savage on the cover again in the steel cage. They did many battles, like I said, through '89 and '90 for the title, until Hogan, of course, would lose the title to Warrior, and then Savage was in a program with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So there you go. That's from 1986 through 1990. I could keep going, but it would just be a really long video, and I'd rather save that for part 2 for tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed this part 1. I know some people are saying, like, you haven't done a video for a while. I miss your videos. I'm sorry, guys. I'm hoping to get back in the swing of things with this. This was kind of fun, though. I'm a huge Randy Macho Man Savage fan, so to go back here and look at the covers, it's pretty neat. I'll be posting, I believe tonight, I'm going to throw up some December magazines on the newsstand. I don't know what year I'm going to go with yet, but check out my Facebook, Jammer's Wrestling Magazine Collection, or check out my Instagram, Jammer90210. You can see what December magazines I'll be putting on the newsstand, and hoping that in a few days I'll go through them and maybe find a story I can show in a video for you guys as well, so you can see the inside of the magazine. Again, thanks for all the new subscribers and all the comments and such. I appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. I'm having a blast doing this. I know you guys must be having a blast following and watching. So until I do my next one, I'll talk to you guys later.